Gunk, gunk. First things first, right out the gate. Sorry about this.
Even before that, we have to apologize for how bad the audio in the last one was.
The last video, audio. Oh yeah, I broke my glasses, by the way.
Wait, what?
They're broken. That's the thing we should also address. Hey, what's up? Welcome to Turbo Cult, where everything is falling apart.
I set up a lot of foaming walls, though. We're trying to make this room more sound friendly.
We're trying to make it like a real set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is temporary. I ordered new mics. They'll be here tomorrow. Our mic setup is janky.
Now you can get some nice quality hearing content.
I mean, what's up, guys? It's your boy Brick B. Welcome to my ASMR channel.
No! Have we all thought about our top video games?
Friend of the channel, good boy Josh Heatblaze asked us what are our top 3 video games. At first I was like, oh, that's easy. That ain't easy. I came up with a list of my top 3. And it's not so much like these aren't like the greatest games ever made, but it's like if you sat me down in a room and off the top of my head, would you stay in this mansion without internet for f***ing 1 week to get $1 billion? You know, those things? Or like the desert island scenario, whatever your scenario is, you get 3 video games to play for like a month. Like what 3 games do you pick that you'll never get bored?
I did not take it that way.
Which way did you take it?
Which are the 3 games that I enjoyed playing the most? Wimble, do you have yours ready?
You guys like RuneScape? You guys ever heard of RuneScape? I play that a lot.
What's your criteria?
Okay, my top 3 are like Smash Bros. Like I'll probably do Melee because that one I spent the most time with. I had the most fun with. I played with all my friends. Like it was always a party game. What was the second one? I think I said 20 Pro Skater 4, but I think I'm gonna change that. That was a fucking good game though. And then like RuneScape. I'll go with Pokemon Emerald. Pokemon Emerald's a solid. Diamond and Pearl
I played
are
Pearl.
close second.
Number 3.
Number 3, old school RuneScape.
Which you can play now.
That game came out.
Can we not?
No, let's not do that bit. I don't want to do that bit.
What about it made you come back to it so much?
It was such a good game. Like, I'm a sucker for RPGs and like having goals to reach in the game. Grindy games like Diablo or like Destiny, games that you just grind is like, oh, you get better gear, whatever. But like RuneScape was more, it was grindy, but there's a noticeable progress you make. Like, oh, I gotta get a level 99 skill, and you have different means of reaching that 99.
I feel you on that one. That's why like I couldn't play through Borderlands really.
Yeah.
Because I mean, Borderlands is like kind of a cool story.
Borderlands is good though.
But it's one of those things where you reach this like mental point where you realize that you're like, I'm just in a loop, and I get a better gun to shoot more guys.
Yeah,
See,
but then the guys also level up with you though, so
I
it doesn't.
not concern myself with that aspect of Borderlands. I was so engrossed in the story that it was like,
I get
I'm
existential.
part of this big story, and I'm just moving from one objective to the other, worrying about completing these objectives rather than do I have the best loadout possible.
Yeah, it depends on how you look at Borderlands, but like RuneScape, there's noticeable changes, noticeable progress between everything you do. Like, oh, you're fighting these low level guys, then you get a higher levels. Like, oh, I'm gonna fight this big guy now and maybe get some good items. I don't know.
I see the appeal of like World of Warcraft in that aspect. You start out and you're just doing like fetch quests and stuff, and then a couple days later you're with your friends, 12 of your friends, trying to battle some.
You need to pull up that Death Grips interview meme.
All right, second game.
So I'll go with Pokemon Emerald, just because that game, it's the most memorable for me. And like I already said, Diamond and Pearl, close second, 4th gen, 3rd and 4th gen.
What makes those special from like the rest of the series?
Probably for me at least, Ruby and Sapphire was probably when I was first introduced to Pokemon. I was like, what, 8 years old? I was like 8 years old.
I get concerned with this age gap because I was introduced with Red and Blue when I was like,
I know, so was everybody
7
else.
years old.
No, like because my parents were like Ben's parents. He said like I wasn't allowed to like.
I am the only person.
Pokemon.
Tyler and I are the only sole employees of Turbo Cult that weren't pastors' kids, and that's kind of weird to think about. Tim, pastor's kid. Ben, pastor's kid. Wimble, pastor's kid. Lauren, I don't know. I don't know her tragic backstory. TM.
Yeah, we couldn't because Pokemon had the word evolution in it, and evolution was evil.
Yeah, and they were monsters, and they cast magic spells
They're
to do
demons.
Yeah, you know Pikachu, he's casting spell.
Have you seen the Pokemon Power video?
So Pokemon is a game that teaches children how to enter into the world of witchcraft, how to cast spells. Pokemon World is a world of the demonic.
And then Melee. Which, do I have to say anything?
No, you're good.
Melee's
I
the
don't know.
most solidest game.
I don't know nothing about Smash Bros.
Brick, you want to go next, or should I go next? You're
You
still
go
thinking.
next.
Me go next? All right.
Because I'm gonna get rambly.
Now, what do we
on
do
mine.
while he talks?
Games. There's a series of adventure games that started in like 1998 with a game called The Longest Journey. It is one of those that was really at the end of when adventure games were popular. It was steeped in a lot of the traditional adventure game gameplay, like walk around, talk to people, pick up items, solve object puzzles, that kind of stuff. But the thing that drew me in was the writing is fantastic and the world building is just... You ever been just like sucked into a game for the entire time you play it? Like you turn it on and you don't want to turn it off. You're just engrossed in this experience from beginning to end. Can you name a time that you've turned on a game and not turned it off until it was finished?
I think it was a launch game for the Xbox.
I fucked up. Dark Cloud. Dark Cloud was such a fucking good game. I changed everything. Dark Cloud is the best game. Okay, go back.
Indigo Prophecy.
Indigo Prophecy was
It was a game that like I didn't know
groundbreaking.
I didn't know anything about it. I sat down and the game opens up and there's a dead body in a bathroom and like you gotta hide it, and I was like, oh okay. And then like I didn't stop playing it.
Never
and
don't
I didn't
stop
know
playing.
anything about it. And I just played it all the way through in one sitting.
That's kind of how I was with The Longest Journey, in that I had never heard of it before. I'd played a lot of adventure games, so I was like well versed in the tropes enough that the puzzles weren't completely nonsensical. It had blocky 90s 3D models, really like beautifully rendered, pre-rendered backgrounds. The writing and the music and the voice acting and the characters were all like 10 out of 10. And it continued on. The second game in the series was called Dreamfall and was unfortunately a dual release for both the original Xbox and the PC in like 2006, near the end of the Xbox's life cycle. Not the worst graphics, but it was still like the limits of the Xbox level, and they had dumbed down the entire thing from your standard point and click with the mouse and keyboard control to trying to make it work on a gamepad. And they had introduced combat. That was the worst combat. I'm gonna throw in some footage of this combat. Thank goodness it only appeared in like 2 or 3 spots in the game. Really, you should just go play it.
Just go play it.
I will say, that was 2006, and then I waited a good 10 years before the writer and director of that series got a Kickstarter going. It was funded like fairly quickly. Like people have been waiting for this game for a long time. And it was the most painstaking, like imagine somebody told you the first half of a story in 2006. All right, it's 2016. I'm going to tell you the other half of the story. But
we're making it so people have something to look at.
oh no, there's going to be footage here. But
okay.
I'll cut to that. The really difficult part was they decided to release it in chapters, like they called it Dreamfall chapters. Kickstart the first part and then sell it to fund the rest of it. It was as if somebody had said, hey, I'm gonna finish this story in 2016, but I'm only gonna tell you 1/6 of the rest of the story every 3 months or whatever the release schedule was. I don't know. The worlds that the Dreamfall and the Longest Journey series creates is just something that's really easy to get lost in. And it feels like I've actually gone on a long journey every time I finish those games. It's like taking a vacation.
I thought I was gonna be rambling on mine. Are you finished?
Oh.
Yeah, that's it.
Welcome to the season finale of our top 3 favorite games. Number 3. I guess I'm going in order. Number 3 would be Skate 2. If you've played EA's Skate, you'll know what I'm talking
Dude,
about.
I had the one that came with the board.
That's Tony Hawk's Ride. Get the fuck out with that shit. That game was a joke.
Can you use that board to play anything?
No. I mean, maybe. You could map it. But if you've played a Skate game, you'll know what I'm talking about. And if you haven't, it's like, everyone liked Tony Hawk games. We all like Tony Hawk games. They're fun. But it's just like button mashing to do tricks. And then Skate came along. It was like, oh, a kickflip is like, you pull the stick back to like crouch down, and then you flick it forward to ollie. Like, it was actual Skate controls, and it wasn't moon gravity. When you'd hit a sick like kickflip, do that 50-50 kick flip out, and you're like, I fucking nailed that shit.
I want to point out quick, what almost made my list was SSX3, which is like the epitome of crazy flying around doing impossible tricks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That lets you know where I land on the esports.
Esports?
I don't know. What'd you call it?
Sport
EA?
games?
That's not
EA
sound right.
Sports?
EA big. It's in the game.
That's in the game. Ben likes playing Burnout.
EA.
I like playing Project Cars, if that says anything.
The more fantastic and arcadey a game is, the more I enjoy it.
Realistic and true to life it is.
So me and Ben are the Burnout and SSX,
like
and you were
when we
and
were,
Tony
when we were
Hawk.
kids, y'all were playing Need for Speed Hot Pursuit and Burnout. I was playing Gran Turismo.
I like.
Number 2, Tomba 2. Tomba, I don't know why Sony didn't put more stock into Tomba, because it was literally like a kind of side-scrolly 3D Zelda, basically, with the like amount of items and different weapons and stuff you had to use. Like you were in a hot level, so you'd have to wear your like hot suit, or you could like, you know what I mean? You'd have to wear special boots so your feet don't burn. I remember there was like ice levels that like you'd be walking and occasionally you'd like shiver or something. There was like some sort of mechanic, but then if you got the cold winter kit, you'd be fine. And then of course there's like water levels and stuff, but it was such like a unique and like honest good game that I don't feel like gets talked about much. It was great.
Sounds like
Turns
the
out
kind of
now
game-
it's a super rare, and I tried to buy a copy and it was gonna be $180.
Yeah, why don't I ask my friend, the old captain, where he gets his old PlayStation games from?
I went to the game store here in town and I was like, hey, do you have a copy of Tomba 2? And they're like, yeah, it's $180. And I was like, all right, cool. And then I went and bought a PSP and then put an emulator on it. And then I played Tomba 2. But it's a really great game. And if you have like an emulator on your PC, I urge you to try out Tomba 2. It's up there with like Zelda.
Number 1.
Number 1.
Every time you do that, somebody unsubscribes.
Number 1, you can probably take
All right, I'm gonna guess. Ready? Metal Gear
which Metal Gear?
for the NES.
No. That game was a nightmare to play. Metal Gear
3.
Solid 3.
It's just the best game ever
It's
made.
honestly, okay, I guess objectively for me, it is the best game I've played. There are so many goofy mechanics to that game, like camouflage. It's the first game in the Metal Gear series to introduce camouflage. You get bit by some skeeters, you get sick, you get bit by a crocodile, you gotta like heal your wounds. The story in 3 is probably it's the richest story in the Metal Gear series. And also Metal Gear is just known for having the richest story in any game series.
Seems like Kojima puts a whole lot of thought into every aspect of the design.
Every single game ties in with each other. I don't know how much is just kind of luck on his part, putting the lore together.
When you look at it like in the order they came out, it's like, okay, this thing didn't make sense when he put it out, but like, okay, they made the 3rd game. Now, okay, that's where that goes now.
Okay,
Like,
I wanted to touch on something, but
oh
like,
god dang it!
if-
now
if-
this.
No,
we
I'm
started
just
talking
saying,
about
like,
Metal Gear.
a spoiler warning, I guess.
Who's gonna put spoilers in
Who's
here?
gonna play
But-
Metal Gear in the year 2018?
But
I
in
still haven't
Metal
played it.
Gear, you encounter Big Boss, but it's actually Venom Snake. A bunch of other games happened. Metal Gear 5, The Phantom Pain. You think you're playing as Big Boss, but you're actually playing as Venom Snake. From the first game, from the 80s, like the entire series. But 3 was where like everything revolves around Metal Gear Solid 3. In
Yeah.
chronological order, 3 is the first.
Yes. The cool thing is it doesn't introduce everything. It brings everything back.
It adds context to the
'Cause-
rest
Yeah.
of the games. Tell them why it's your favorite game.
The lore. The lore is a huge part. I said on a recent episode that I read Tom Clancy books when I was a kid. Always really liked that like espionage, CIA analyst Jack Ryan spy stuff. I also read James Bond and I liked espionage stuff. And then like Metal Gear came and it was like tactical espionage action. The mechanics of the game are fun. It makes it really easy to kill enemies by giving you a lot of cool guns and stuff, but it also rewards you. That's every Metal Gear game though. Since 3 onwards, Metal Gear Solid 5, there's like 200 plus like variations of cool guns you can use to shoot people. But it
There's also a
also
line of sleep dart guns.
it also rewards you heavily for not killing people though.
Let's. That's the end of those. Now we're gonna go into honorable mentions for the next
Honorable
60
mentions.
seconds. You got 60 seconds. Let's go.
Dark Souls.
That's a good honorable mention.
They're solid games.
How many
Yeah.
hours do you think you put into them?
400.
Dark Souls
Yeah, but
pretty
at
lady.
least.
I know I have over 200 in Dark Souls 3.
Alpha Protocol. That game is lit. Metal Gear, this is just kind of like, I'm just talking now. Metal Gear did that in
Oh, we're done with Metal Gear. Remember?
Metal Gear
Oh,
did that
remember?
in almost in
we're done with
autistic
We're
Metal
in
Gear.
way.
honorable mentions now.
Yeah, I'm
Remember
saying,
Metal Gear? We're done with it.
Also, you
But I'm
didn't talk
saying-
about Alpha Protocol.
Yeah, I'm just real quick. If you just let me get through this f***ing statement. The creepy like, yeah, poison guy. there was a way you could defeat him if you tranked him and then he'd, fall to the ground a bit, which usually you would take to move to your next cover. But if you took out your torch and just kind of like shimmied under him, he'd be like, and he would get stuck. And it's not like a glitch. It was a part of the game where like you just put a torch under his butt cheeks. And he's be like, I can't get out, and he died. Alpha Protocol is a game where it doesn't set you up to play how you want. It's just literally like, here's the mission, do it. And it's not like, oh, clearly if you disguise yourself as the chef and do that, you can put. It's just like, here's the mission, whatever you build. And it's got a lot of cool RPG elements like that. You can be like a sneaky boy like Metal Gear, or you could be a big heavy tank boy, and then you could talk to people. And the first time I played through it, there was 2 characters I didn't meet. Even just because of the way I played it. There's like 2 whole characters that were just not in my storyline. One of them is a masochist who, if you talk to them, they like you more.
Wimble has passed away, so I think we should wrap it up.
Hey, thanks for listening to us ramble about video games. Sorry about this goofy mic setup. I mean, it probably sounds good.
All right, we have a channel. Subscribe to our YouTube channel.
We have YouTube.
We have a YouTube channel.
You're watching it right now.
You may have not. I don't know if you know this, but we have a YouTube channel. Stickers in the shop.
Look at that. That's cool, isn't it?
We made this big boy.
Dude said he wanted one. I'm scared now.
Like, if you really want, we could make you one of these. I'm gonna charge you hella for it though, because it's kind of a nightmare. And also shipping it is also a
We
nightmare.
gotta get a tube for that thing.
Yeah.
We'd have to get it tubed. I don't think that'll fit in an envelope. But we got some normal stickers in the shop. We also have a Discord
Come on the Discord.
where we actually have a suggestions channel
Link in the description.
where you can ask us. It's questions and suggestions where you can ask us questions and then we'll answer them on this show, our
Probably.
daily show. And we also have suggestions where you can post suggestions for stickers, what's the new sticker we're producing now?
It's either flowers flavor
Not
or
flowers flavor, cut
You
that
have
out.
to do
very legal,
very legal,
very cool.
and very cool. We're gonna have those up in the shop soon. Hang out in our Discord, link below. It's a kind of an okay place, I guess.
Yep.
See you later.
If you want to watch last week's video,
We're so used to saying last week's video because we used to do
They're
weekly.
just gonna start appearing on the screen.
If you
Okay.
want to see the previous video, whatever that may
I'm assuming
be,
we're here now. Subscribe.
click over here. If you want to see what YouTube thinks is a pretty cool video, click over by Wimble.